Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm ARTWITHKODA, and we are finally here. The end of the road, the climax of Steven Universe Future, and the entire Steven Universe franchise so far. It's truly insane that we're finally at the end of Steven's story, at least for now. The adventures of the Crystal Gems, spending time with Garnet and with this in Pearl, it is about to come to a close with its final curtain call. And today I would really love just to take the time, look at the wild ride that has been Future thus far, and provide a bit of speculation of what we can expect in the final 6 episodes. Think about it, guys. We only have a little bit over an hour of content left in the Steven Universe saga. With all that said, I'm going to issue a spoiler warning. In case you don't want to be spoiled and any of my predictions could come true, or you're just trying to avoid as much information as possible, this isn't your scene. With that out of the way, let's dive in. With the series near completion, I gotta say, I really appreciate how Future went about its storytelling. I've said this on social media and in private, but never on a video. I feel as if where the original Steven Universe series was a homage to long-running shonen anime with multiple story arcs and mysteries, shonen in itself being targeted towards young boys in Japan, Steven Universe Future feels like it decided to pay homage to a different type of anime. Instead of that long-running hundreds of episodes shonen, Steven Universe Future storytelling feels as if it's paying homage to the 13, 26, 52 episode seinen anime, which is instead targeted at a teenage audience, much more appropriate for the time skip in a now older Steven Universe. It feels like a much more appropriate tribute to the countless anime the Crewniverse was exposed to that aired on Toonami weekday afternoons back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Again, the original series mirrored long-running anime by having numerous large-scale events occur within a small amount of time, much like Dragon Ball, One Piece, or Naruto, where with Future, episodes can take days, weeks, or even a month apart. In a way, it's a lot more episodic than the original series, but the glue that holds everything together this time around is Steven's character arc and journey, more so than ever. Instead of the plot affecting Steven, Steven affects the plot. And despite the passage of time, there's still a strong sense of continuity that has especially been picking up in these last few episodes. And this method of storytelling makes sense, as Future, being the epilogue series that it is, has given us Steven going on these very intimate adventures with another character as a way of giving the other character a send-off. The episode guidance being a send-off for Amethyst, volleyball being one for Pearl, Why So Blue for Lapis, Little Graduation for Sadie and Lars, and Dreams for Peridot, Bismuth Casual for Bismuth, and Together Forever for Connie. I really wouldn't consider Little Homeschool a send-off for Jasper, or Bluebird a send-off for Aquamarine and Eyeball. Reason being, well, Jasper is introduced halfway through Little Homeschool, which in itself sets up Future as a whole, and the point of Bluebird was more or less to teach Steven that there are gems out there who still hate him, ending on an ambiguous note where we could see these characters again. For all these reasons, Future really is different from the original series. I truly believed it earned its title as a completely different show within the same franchise. And this is where we should open up our dialogue about the end. This week, we have the 2 penultimate episodes before the 4-part conclusion. Those 2 episodes being Mr. Universe and Fragments. Now, Mr. Universe Vowed Out sounds like it'll be Greg's send-off episode. Although he's had roles to play in Bluebird and Growing Pains, this would be the episode where his relationship with Steven is the focus. Going off the dialogue exchange in Growing Pains, I'm assuming Greg coming to the hospital wasn't just him stopping in Beach City as he suggested in the beginning of the episode, but him coming home from the tour for good. In a time like this, I don't know if he would leave his son, but this would likely make Steven feel as if he's holding his father back. But for an episode that properly closes the door on Greg's arc, I feel as if we're inevitably going to get another mention of Steven's mother, Pink Diamond, aka Rose Quartz, whom Steven has shown conflicting feelings towards in present day. So I wonder if Greg can provide any kind of insight that would be beneficial to Steven during this time. Anything that would help Steven form a much more well-rounded perspective of who his mother was. And of course, going off the pattern of Future, Steven will likely find himself escalating a conflict that'll make this entire episode a punch in the gut. But hey, as long as Greg's around, I couldn't see the episode ending on a bitter note. That being said, I feel as if I want to reevaluate my entire perspective and predictions for the episode fragment. fragments. While I initially believed this episode would be focused on the diamonds, essentially being their send-off episode, we know the episode Homeworld Bound immediately follows, which assumably Steven would be on a journey towards Homeworld to see the diamonds. And there's still a lot of uncharted territory we have to cover, namely Steven's intervention with the crystal gems, his assumed retreat into the forest, where he'll likely have an encounter with Jasper. Again, I think it's both of them knocking down these trees, Jasper teaching Steven how to blow off steam, and whatever happens that causes Steven to run back into his house with his right hand covered in his pocket, which of course I believe to be corruption. If Steven's going to get into a huge fight with the gems and quote unquote shatter that family image, then I don't know about you guys, but the episode Fragment sounds like an appropriate episode title for such an event to happen. But at the same time, maybe everything comes to a head in the episode Everything's Fine, which I assume will be 11 minutes of Steven insisting to everyone that he's fine, where really he couldn't be any worse, and he ends up transforming into a giant gem kaiju. And although I shouldn't be worried, I am kinda worried, just because if Fragments isn't an episode about the diamonds, then that means the 4-part finale would contain Pink White Diamond, Corrupted Steven, and actually closing out the series. 3 pretty big hypothetical events that the fandom has been awaiting for quite some time. Personally, that feels like a lot for me for the end. And granted, Change Your Mind was packed with a lot, but Change Your Mind was one singular story spread over the course of 4 11-minute segments. These will be 4 individual stories that just air together as an hour-long special, just like the series premiere, although I'm sure they're going to be a lot more connected than the premiere was. I don't think it'll be a hindrance on the storytelling. If anyone could have gotten a longer finale, it's the Crewniverse, so somehow I guess they just made it work with the time they have. Still, while another appearance from Jasper feels inevitable, I do hope we get proper resolution to Mean Lapis Lazuli, Bluebird Azorite, and maybe even Cactus Steven. And I really hope that Spinel gets to do something in the finale, whether if it's her having a meaningful conversation with Steven, kind of bring him to the realization that he's in a similar spot to where she used to be. Or maybe we'll be fortunate enough to get one more action sequence from her. But these episodes are only 11 minutes, but at the same time, come on! Y'all know y'all want to see Etienne and his crazy ass camera angles adapt Spinel's crazy ass limbs. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Regardless, we're almost in the endgame. Again, everything now is a matter of Steven figuring out how he adapts to this new situation, how he adapts to his stress and trauma, and still figuring out once and for all what he wants for his future. Like Greg said, he doesn't have to solve all of his problems in one night, but I believe these final episodes will see Steven trying to resolve these issues, and that things may get a little bit rough before it gets better. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? What are your predictions for the end of Steven Universe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at ARTWITHKODA. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AllStrickVox, signing out. This video has no sponsor, but I would like to plug the Roundtable Teespring, a place to get your hands on t-shirts, hoodies, and all sorts of goodies inspired by the animated series we cover right here on the channel. Some great designs include Cartoons Are Cool, Player Select, and OK Roundtable Let's Be Content Creators. But there's also a plethora of Steven Universe-inspired designs. The diamond shirts, such as Hello Starlight and I'm Just As Important As You, alongside Steamboat Spinelli, Bat Courts, Pink Lasagna, and Net Gang. That's just naming a few. Now, buying any of this merch is more than just putting money in our pockets. It directly supports the artist, and I really would like to use some of the funds for a super secret cartoon pitch that me and Nemo are cooking up. It'd be an animatic, nothing too crazy, but my biggest goal for 2020 is to put something out into the world that pertains to the idea of this cartoon. And if you use the code CRYSTAL, you can get 20% off your purchase until May 2020. Link to the Teespring in the description. Now back to your video.